Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Monday, July 25th, 2022. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to put your baseball picks in the comments section below. If you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. I'm running my $15 MLB best bet. We've actually hit 6 of those daily $15 plays in a row, so check it out at Pick Dawgz Premium. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Monday, July 25th. First up, we see the Miami Marlins taking on the Cincinnati Reds with Trevor Rogers and Nick Lodolo as your starters. Now, the Cincinnati Reds have certainly hit lefties better than righties this season, and Trevor Rogers has had a disappointing 2022 campaign for the Fish, a 4-9 record with that 5.46 ERA, under a strikeout per inning this year at 78 Ks in 84 innings, very high whip at 1.55. I just don't really want to trust him in this spot. His most recent outing on July 17th wasn't very good against the Phillies. 6 innings he pitched, but he gave up 7 hits, 4 earned runs, a home run in that one, and only 4 strikeouts. And I think the Reds can get to Rogers here. On the other side, Nick Lodolo, the young starter, he's definitely had his struggles in 2022, but he's only had 26 and a third innings pitched. Has that 5.81 ERA, but I do like that he has really good velocity on his fastball and the fact that he's striking out a ton of batters. 38 strikeouts and 26 and a third innings pitched this season. Now you're facing a Miami Marlins lineup that has had issues with the strikeouts against righties and against lefties in 2022. So I do think Lodolo can have a solid outing, a good enough outing to get his Cincinnati Reds a victory here. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Reds here on the money line at home. Next up, we see the Atlanta Braves taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. We're going to see Max Fried and Ranger Suarez on the mound for this one, a pair of lefties going at it. Now, the fact of the matter is, neither of these offenses have done much against lefties as of late. We saw both of these teams face lefties on Sunday, and both of these teams earn a loss in those games. The Braves only scored 1 run. The Philadelphia Phillies scored 3 total runs, and both lefty starting pitchers had a lot of success in those games. So, Max Fried, one of the better lefties in the National League this season, 10-3 with a 2.64 ERA overall this season. I haven't necessarily been too impressed with him as of late. He has been getting hit a little bit harder recently, but still, overall, pitching very, very well for Atlanta. And the Philadelphia Phillies, when you look at their numbers offensively, 18th in team OPS in the last 30 days against lefties, 16th in isolated power, so outside that top half of the league. The Atlanta Braves, 19th in isolated power, pretty surprising stat to see. A little bit better in the team OPS department, but still, after their struggles against Reed Detmers on Sunday, just don't really think that we're going to see a ton of runs from either of these clubs. I'm going to take the under in this game and lean towards the Atlanta Braves as well on the money line. In our next matchup, we see the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Baltimore Orioles. Corey Kluber and Austin Voth are your projected starters. Now, in this one, I'm just going to take the plus money with the Baltimore Orioles at home on the money line. The Orioles have been playing very, very well at Camden Yards, and although they had mixed results in that Yankees series, I still like them in this spot. When you've seen Corey Kluber, he's faced this Orioles lineup 4 times now, so this is going to be his 5th start against the Orioles, and his last start back on July 17th was his worst one yet. He went 6 innings, but he gave up 8 hits, 4 earned runs, a home run, only 3 strikeouts. So when you face a team over and over, a pitcher versus a lineup, I do think that the advantage goes to the lineup, getting more familiar with a pitcher's style, and I think the Orioles can get to Kluber again. They've hit right-handed pitching very, very well in the last month or so. Now, the Rays have hit righties pretty well themselves, but this lineup has been really inconsistent. A lot of injuries right now in the Tampa Bay lineup. We've seen guys in and out of the lineup overall, and I just can't trust Tampa Bay at this kind of price on the road. With the Orioles playing so well at Camden Yards, I just think getting plus money, too good to pass up. So give me the Baltimore Orioles on the money line in this one. In our next game, we see the Cleveland Guardians taking on the Boston Red Sox with Zach Plesac and Nick Pivetta as your starters. Now, this is a tough game to decide who to take on the money line. I would just stay away from the side and look towards the total and taking the over. There's a reason why this game is priced at minus 110 apiece on the money line. Zach Plesac in his last few starts has only faced the Tigers twice and the Royals, so some of the weaker lineups in the American League. He's still given up at least 6 base hits in each of those 3 starts, and he hasn't really pitched too deep in any of those games, giving up a total of 8 earned runs in those 3 outings, a home run as well. Strikeout numbers are down for him, and When you look at his baseball savant page, it looks like an igloo. A lot of below average numbers and advanced metrics, average exit velocity, barrel percentage. So I do worry about him. And although the Red Sox offense hasn't done a ton lately, especially against righties, I still think, it's a very talented lineup overall, playing at Fenway Park, a hitter-friendly park. I think the Red Sox offense gets going here. On the other side, though, Nick Pivetta, I cannot back him right now, giving up at least 6 earned runs in each of his last 3 outings, giving up 4 home runs combined in his last 2 outings against the Yankees each time. And the Cleveland Guardians have hit right-handed pitching very, very well in 2022. The Boston Red Sox have had one of the worst bullpens in baseball in the last 2 weeks or so. Even though they started out the season pretty well, it is not looking pretty for this Red Sox pen. So I think we see scoring from start to finish in this one. I'm going to take the over in the Cleveland Guardians Boston Red Sox. Next up, we see the San Diego Padres taking on the Detroit Tigers. Sean Manaea and Drew Hutchison are your starters. Now, the Tigers have hit lefties better than righties this season, but not enough for me to want to take them in this spot. I know the Tigers have been pretty good at home this year, especially as an underdog, but I don't like him in this spot. When you look at Sean Manaea, he's been good enough to keep his team in the games. And when you look at the Padres, I think they have one of the better bullpens in baseball. The Tigers' bullpen has been used quite a bit as of late. They've had a few games in a row now where their pitching staff has given up a lot of runs, 17 runs combined in their last 2 games. The San Diego Padres face Drew Hutchison here, and Hutchison's got a 4.46 ERA, but I think it has even more room to rise when you look at that 5.13 xFIP. He's not striking out batters. He's giving up a ton of walks, and he has a pretty low BABIP right now at 266. So I think there's still even more room for regression for him. Even though the Padres haven't done much against righties, this could be a breakout game offensively for San Diego. I'm going to take the Padres here on the money line on the road. Next up, we see the Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the Chicago Cubs with JT Brubaker and Adrian Sampson as your starters. Now, JT Brubaker's coming off one of his best starts of the season against the Marlins, but this Chicago Cubs team is red hot going into the second half of the year as they swept the Philadelphia Phillies in 3 games as road underdogs in each and every game, and it really wasn't even a close series. The game on Sunday was a 1-run game. The Saturday game was an extra innings game, but the Cubs looked like they had all 3 games wrapped up pretty well, and Adrian Sampson is a guy that I think he's going to pitch well in this spot because of the matchup. Pittsburgh Pirates have had pretty good power numbers against right-handed pitching in the last 30 days, where they're ranked inside the top 15 in isolated power. However, Adrian Sampson, top 77th percentile in hard hit percentage, barrel percentage, and average exit velocity. He's been able to have success in 2022 because he's limited home runs, and based on those numbers, I think he'll continue to limit home runs as the season goes on. So I don't see the Pirates doing much of anything offensively here. Chicago Cubs offense has really struggled with runners in scoring position overall this season, but they did a good job in Philadelphia. I think they do a good enough job here to get the win at home. So give me the Chicago Cubs here on the money line. Next up, we see the Los Angeles Angels taking on the Kansas City Royals with Noah Syndergaard and Zach Greinke as the starters. This is a very tough game for Monday's card, and we see both teams priced at -110 yet again on the money line here. 2 starting pitchers that I do not back very often. Zach Greinke, you guys know from the beginning of the season, somebody I thought was going to have a really rough 2022. And there he is at 3-6 with a 4.64 ERA. And I don't like him in this spot against an Angels lineup that did a lot offensively on Sunday. On the other side, Noah Syndergaard may not be my favorite option, but I will say his average exit velocity and hard hit percentage are still very, very good. He's able to get ground ball outs, and I think he's the better option here. And I think the Angels offense is also the better option overall, with a better bullpen in my opinion as well. So I got to take the Los Angeles Angels here on the money line. But again, still a very challenging game for Monday's card. Next up, we see the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the Colorado Rockies. Aaron Ashby and Kyle Freeland are your starters for this one. Now, the Rockies have had better numbers offensively against lefties this year, but I still think Aaron Ashby is the much better option on the mound in this matchup. Kyle Freeland has struggled against really any lineup as of late. 5 earned to the Padres, 6 earned to the D-backs, 4 earned to the Dodgers in his last 3 starts. And although Ashby's had his fair share of struggles in 2022, I like his ability to miss bats and earn strikeouts. He's got 83 Ks in 69 innings this season. And the Rockies, I believe, have one of the worst bullpens in baseball. And on the road, they just haven't been very good this year and in years past. So not my favorite game on the board, but I am going to take a lean here with the home team on the run line, laying the 1.5 runs with Milwaukee. Next up, we see the Houston Astros taking on the Oakland Athletics. Jake Odorizzi and Adam Oller are your projected starters, and I guess Jake Odorizzi's only going to face the Oakland A's for the rest of the season. This will be his third straight start against the Oakland A's. Faced them on July 10th, July 17th, and now July 25th. He's had success against Oakland overall. In his last 12 1/3 innings pitched, only 3 earned runs allowed, 12 strikeouts, 1 walk, only 1 home run in that stretch. And I like that he's earning more strikeouts as of late. I think that he is a strikeout-dependent pitcher. We've seen him have his best numbers when he misses bats. So if he's able to do that yet again in this spot, I think he'll have another good outing. And the Oakland A's have just not been good at home at all this year. One of the worst home records, actually the worst home record in baseball this season. Adam Oller, 0-3 with an ERA above 8, and with how well the Astros played in that Seattle Mariners series, there is just no way I can fade him here. Give me the Houston Astros laying the run line on the road. Next up, we see the San Francisco Giants and the Arizona Diamondbacks. We're going to see Jakob Yunis and Tyler Gilbert on the mound for this contest. I'm going to take the over in this game. You know, the Giants are just barely favorites in this spot, even though their pitcher has the far better ERA. The books might be telling you something there. Jakob Yunis is somebody that has issues with the home run ball. 7 home runs allowed in 50 innings isn't that bad overall this season, but at least 1 home run in 4 of his last 5 starts. The Diamondbacks are a very home run dependent lineup, and they do have a lot of success when they face pitchers that give up a lot of home runs. So I think the Diamondbacks offense gets to Yunis early and often. But on the other side, Tyler Gilbert being a lefty, the Giants have had a lot of success against lefties this season, and Gilbert 0-3 with a 5.34 ERA. The expected numbers aren't on his side. He doesn't earn a lot of strikeouts. Neither of these bullpens really impressed me. I think we see scoring from start to finish. Give me the over in the Giants D-backs game. Next up, we see the Texas Rangers taking on the Seattle Mariners. Glenn Otto and Chris Flexen are your starters. Now, Chris Flexen's not my favorite option on the mound for the Seattle Mariners, but I will give him credit. He's pitching a lot better recently than he did at the beginning of the season. His last 3 starts, he has only given up 1 earned run or fewer in all 3. Not earning as many strikeouts as I'd like to see, but he's limiting the home run ball, limiting base hits in general, and he has been a winning machine for Seattle as of late, and the Mariners have won his last 5 starts. So I do like him in this spot. Glenn Otto, not somebody I'm looking to back right now. You look at his numbers, 5.4 ERA, not striking out a lot of guys, giving up a lot of base runners, home runs galore, a 1.46 whip. I think the Mariners get to him and bounce back from that rough Houston Astros series. So I'm going to take the Seattle Mariners here at home on the money line. And in our final game of the night, we see the Washington Nationals taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. No official line for this game quite yet, but we should see Paolo Espino and Tony Gonsolin as the starters. Now, if this is the starting pitching matchup, we can expect the Dodgers to be probably minus 300 or more favorites in this spot. You got Gonsolin, who's an all-star, 11-0, 2.02 ERA, going up against one of the worst teams in baseball in the National League as well, the Nationals. So, you know, this is going to be a very hefty line. To me, there's no value in the Dodgers, especially when you see how Tony Gonsolin has looked as of late, giving up at least 1 home run in each of his last 3 starts. The strikeout numbers are way down. He also really struggled in the All-Star game. Whatever you put into that, I still think it's worthy to mention that he gave up 2 home runs, 3 earned runs, 4 total hits, and only an inning pitch against the American League in the All-Star game. So, you know, he's not in good form, and I just don't think he's going to be deserving of that big price. The Dodgers offense should certainly be able to get to Espino and this Nationals bullpen, but I think overall this is just going to be a higher scoring game, and we're going to get a much better price taking the over than we would taking the Dodgers on the run line, even though I do think the Dodgers will win and cover the run line in the end. It might be a little sketchy early on, though, so give me the over in the Nationals-Dodgers game. And that's it. Those are the games for Monday, July 25th. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to put your baseball picks in the comments section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.